What's up, YouTube? My name is Troy Devlin. I'm an integrative nutrition health coach specializing in weight loss, and I thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, I thought we could talk a little bit about motivation and why I think that motivation is kind of like BS. And we'll talk about momentum, right? And what creates momentum. A lot of people think that motivation is how you create momentum, and we can talk about it. We'll talk about consistency and how important that is, and finally, we'll talk about adaptation, which is the point where your body finally begins to change as a result of your program. Anyone who's ever worked out or dieted or really tried to make any sort of a change in their body, gain strength or speed, things of that nature. You understand that these things take a really long time, right? They take a reasonable amount of time. So we have to be realistic, but at the same time, we also should never tell ourselves or listen to other people that tell us that we can't do something or something is not possible. Because I'm here to tell you as your coach that anything is possible given enough time. And that's really the limiting factor here in all of this. Where we're mortal beings, we're all going to die. We only have so much time, and you can do anything. You can heal from anything. You can grow anything, or shrink anything. Whatever it is, really, that you put your mind to, but it'll take a long time. And so, if that's the type of thing that you're into, right, like biohacking, health and wellness, I would ask that you subscribe to my channel. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, do whatever it is that they do nowadays to support people on their creator journey, because I'm excited to be here. And I'm really thankful that YouTube allows us to spread the message. And so with that, let's get into the video here. Let's talk a little bit about motivation. I'd love to hear your thoughts on motivation in the comments below. What do you think? Where does motivation come from? And just to share a little bit about my personal experience with motivation, and like I said, I think that motivation is BS, because rarely do I feel it. And there's certain things that I've tried, like external things that I've tried to like boost levels of motivation. For example, watching like motivational CrossFit videos on YouTube, and I find that to be motivational. Shout out to my girl Margot Alvarez, CrossFit athlete out there. And those videos they give me a boost, I suppose. But I don't know. I've tried the energy drinks. Have you guys tried these energy drinks for like motivation, external motivation, or they have stimulants in them? Listening to music is another one. So these are all various ways that I try to boost motivation in myself. But what I often find when it comes to doing hard things like going for a run or lifting weights, intense exercise, I'm the type of person that really does not favor intense exercise. It's intense. It's a little uncomfortable, right? There's probably other things that I would rather be doing. I prefer more contemplative things, perhaps more comfortable things. So I never really feel like working out. And it's interesting, right? Because it's a hobby of mine, and it's something that I really appreciate and I have a lot of love for, and it's so very important for my mental health. And it's something that I oftentimes have to force myself to do. When it comes to exercise, I force myself to exercise because I know that physical activity is going to help my mental health. And the motivation isn't there, right? It's very hard for me to cultivate it, even by, watching the videos and drinking the drinks and the music. It's still very hard. I have to force myself to do the thing. But, once I've forced myself to do the thing day in, day out, over and over and over and over and over, in my opinion, that's how you create momentum. Because what I've done is I've put that into my subconscious programming. When you force yourself to do something over and over, you create a habit. In the same way that bad habits are formed, We can form good habits because our being tends to want to program things into the subconscious so they don't need to be thought about actively, freeing up our organism and our conscious mind, the thing that we're focusing on, freeing up that mind to focus on other stuff while we sort of get through our daily tasks without having to think about them too much. So if you can program yourself to be the type of person that works out every day, then your subconscious mind is just going to take that on as another one of your tasks, just like other self-care things. And if you don't do it, then your subconscious mind will be like, whoop, something's wrong. Hey, conscious mind, something's going on. What's going on up there? Did you guys get your workout in? And the conscious mind will then be like, no, we didn't get our workout in because we're working overtime today, or because, we're traveling for work today, but we're going to take a note of that. We're going to go for a walk, or we're going to scale back on what we eat today, or we are going to do some push-ups and sit-ups before bed, that kind of thing. But what we are looking for is to create a good habit for ourselves. And we can do that by forcing ourselves to do the thing that we don't want to do. Force yourself to do the thing that you don't want to do to the point where it becomes a habit. And then it becomes much easier, because once it's a habit, you don't have to think about it. It's just going to happen. I promise you that. And so, again, my opinion is that momentum is self-made. And the hard thing becomes so much easier once you have forced yourself to do it over and over and over and over. And through that consistency, that's where you're going to get that adaptation. The adaptation is when now we notice, oh my gosh, I'm losing some weight. I noticed that my belt, all of a sudden my waistline is smaller. I have less body fat on my stomach. I noticed that the number on the scale is going down. I noticed that I look a little different in the mirror. Wow, look at that, right? And now adaptation is taking place. You don't get anywhere near adaptation unless you have consistency dialed in. You gotta be consistent to get to that adaptation point. That adaptation point is the point where the body finally starts to change. You can change your mind just like that, but it takes a while for the body to catch up, right? So change is identity change. Real change is identity change. The story that you tell yourself. Pay attention to that story. Change that story if you have to, because you can. You're free to do that. And really be mindful of the story that you're telling yourself. Don't wait for motivation. Create momentum by doing the thing. Do the hard thing, even when you don't feel like doing it. Do it anyway. Do it over and over and over and over and over and over. And sooner or later, something's going to come up in your life where you're not able to do that hard thing. And you know what? You might just miss it. And at that point, you know that you're onto something. And you also will know that I have hypnotized you into programming health and wellness into your subconscious, which is what my goal is. And if that sounds good to you, I ask that you like, subscribe, smash that subscribe button, the bells, whatever there is, so that we can stay in touch. And I see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.